Here he has a chance to prove it, but coming around the flank early on, it's going to be Kenny. He's going to find one, spots the second as well, takes down Dragon Ben.
Oh, Kenny just cooked Splice.
How did you manage to pull that off?
1v1 versus me and Damon. He put this on Twitter and I had to shut him down.
Can anybody tell me why Kenny has been running an AR for 4 years?
I mean, I came to this team and promised some championships, and here's one. It's not enough yet.
Overrated or unsung hero? Kenny has been tearing up the Call of Duty world for nigh on a decade, but his career has not been without its controversy. From OpTic's nightmare to their biggest saviour, but is his reputation beginning to crumble?
Kenny able to get another one. Kenny with 3. Kenny get the 2-beat. Kenny lights him up.
It all started in Advanced Warfare when a 15-year-old Kenny burst onto the scene with Team Justice. Alongside another underage talent in Envoy, a duo which would enjoy much success together, he made a strong impression at the World Finals, finishing in the top 6.
Push him, man. I got him. Back blue. He's dead. Careful, I got ball. Dead. Nice. I'm back blue.
So, Jack, game currently tied at 2-2. What did you take from that listening?
Look who's the man leading the team yet again, Ben. It is Kenny at 13-5.
I mean, Kenny just so good.
I think we'll be seeing more of him on top teams after this event.
Running the BAL 27, Kenny showcased remarkable versatility, but certainly preferred using the rifles over the SMG weaponry in his early career. But his rise was halted, not by skill, but by an age restriction. The Call of Duty World League arrived in 2016 for the arrival of Black Ops 3, with the 18-year-old age restriction, once reserved only for the World Championship, extended to all CWL competition. Like fellow young stars, Hook, Temp and Envoy, Kenny was forced to the sidelines, briefly diverting his talents to Halo, where he did find moderate success, but Call of Duty was always his true calling. When Kenny finally returns to Call of Duty with Team Kaliber, he had a point to prove. He was known by the fringes of the community, but carried nowhere near the rookie hype of Simp or Illy in the following years. He initially wanted to run an assault rifle, but with Chino and accuracy locking down that role, he transitioned to the PPSH submachine gun. The result, one of the greatest rookie seasons of all time.
3 seconds left for it. Xbox the closest now. Coming in from the top. It's Kenny. Kenny fights 2 from the bridge. Fights the 3rd as well. But inside the hard point, it's Aqua. It's a 1-on-1. Aqua versus Kenny. Kenny wins it. Kenny wins it. He wins the game. A 1 second hard point game.
Kenny kills all 4 and gets the final 3.
First engagement going down to Pander. He's spotted.
They know where both players are. First gunfight for Kenny. Another for Kenny. 6 in a row. That's your ball game. Give him the ace.
The bunker taking on 3 members of the LG at once.
Oh, Kenny with 3.
Oh my word.
Kenny was the best SMG player in World War II, excelling in a title largely dominated by ARs. His dominance helped TK secure back-to-back victories at CWL Dallas and CWL New Orleans to kick off the season. Only Crimsix, the most successful player of all time, was able to replicate Kenny's numbers on the PPSH that year, and arguably Kenny's impact was even higher. Team Kaliber though struggled through the mid-season, with Theory and Chino departing the roster, with Enable and Ferro arriving as the season went on. But Kenny continued delivering excellent performances in a game where using an SMG was challenging. The maps favoured AR players, and SMGs needed great positioning and in-game IQ to have a great impact. Even veteran SMGs were struggling, let alone new players with less experience who tend to be all aim, no brain. No such problem though for Kenny. He was a rookie of a different class.
For my POV, but either way, East Road Hill, 22nd game, still up for the air for anyone.
Thanks to your point, 11-7. Vicento keeping up his pace, 12-7. But that's the double kill potential that Kenny can bring to you. Just
accuracy's going to level up the playing field as Looney falls 2v2. Gunless and TJ still alive. Kenny against TJ's dead. Towards those streak progression. That's a pick. And honestly, Kenny's probably feeling pretty confident. 29 seconds go for the gunfight. It's gunless. 1v1. Kenny readjusts his position.
Just smoke the fuse. I mean, not gonna happen, but he connects with the headshot. Kenny with the headshot on the gunless.
Even more impressively, he was crowned Stage 2 MVP and led his team to a second place finish at the 2018 Call of Duty Championship, just shy of ultimate glory. frustrated at missing a golden opportunity to surprise Evil Genius's win, but his ability to perform in high-pressure situations earned him recognition as a future star of the esport.
100 Thieves continues to be the talk of the town, and yet with another bombshell announcement coming last night. You know him as Kenny, I know him as Quavo Kenny. How's it going today, my friend?
It's going good. Really good.
Doing good today?
Yeah.
With Black Ops 4 ushering in the pseudo-franchise era, Team Kaliber disbanded, and the franchise transitioned to a 5v5 competitive setting, Treyarch's latest attempt to align competitive play with the casual player base. Kenny found a new home under Nadeshot's 100 Thieves, alongside former Team K teammates Enable and Pharaoh. Nadeshot had revived his 100T roster for the first time since late Black Ops 3, the less said about that team, probably the better.
I don't even want to mentally go back to that place.
Many expected Kenny to maintain his dominance on the new Sorg SMG after his PPSH masterclass in 2018. But weapons in BO4 were projectile based, meaning the game considered each shot as an actual object in space that had travel time and bullet drop to hit the target. This contrasts with a hit scan gun in which every bullet fired is basically a laser beam to the target. The difference was relatively minor on paper, but on the SMGs it made their power notably weaker. The SMGs were buffs to hit scan later in the game, but by that time, Kenny's new role was well established.
But it all comes down to the 1v1 Kenny versus Mayhem.
I don't believe it. Kenny gets the bomb down, he's gonna get spotted, he stayed alive, Kenny goes for the reach out, he's feeling confident, and that's why Kenny makes them pay!
100T though had a shaky start, barely qualifying for the Pro League, after which Pharaoh was dropped in favour of Priester. The team improved to great degree due to Kenny's switch away from the Sorg. Kenny's stint with the Sorg was really the first low period in a career defined by ups and downs, as versatile yet volatile a player as they come. He picked up the Maddox and transformed into one of the most dominant players in the world, certainly at the end stretch of the title.
I got in front of me. Right him. Oh my goodness.
From the sky. Kenny 3 for Kenny and Slasher.
We'll play for it.
The streak's up to 8. He just got his 9th. Kenny is 10-1, 11-1 before he falls.
His efforts led 100T to major victories in London and Anaheim, giving Nadeshot his first taste of silverware since his playing days.
Did you think you would go home rather a champion?
I don't have nothing to say, but shh.
He played a key role in their nearly miraculous losers bracket run of the World Championship, defeating FaZe Clan in the most remarkable best-of-5 reverse sweep we have ever seen. 100T made an unbelievable run to face Simps United in the grand finals, but the rookie defeated the sophomore.
Ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to this.
Well, you have Slasher mid and that.
Priester knows he's going to get caught, but there's a very quick trade. Slasher was picking up the flank, but now he comes back in. Pristini takes down 2. It can all end here. It's on Octane. It's on Slasher.
Second place again at the World Championship for Kenny in his first 2 years. Would he forever be destined to Silver Surfer at the biggest tournaments?
You do get second at Champs twice.
Oh my god.
Does that take a toll?
Yes.
Yeah?
On 100T's run to the finals, they defeated OpTic Gaming in a dominant showing, eliminating the fan favourite team in 3-0 fashion and being part of the final time that OpTic would compete in competitive Call of Duty for quite some time. Kenny began to develop a reputation, therefore, as the OpTic Slayer, consistently taking them down in crucial matchups.
This is the introduction to the fans. All these incredible teams around the world waiting months to get the league started. Now you get to see them. This is going to be a fantastic time.
The Call of Duty League, or CDL, launched for 2020, but 100 Thieves did not acquire a franchise spot given the $25 million premium placed by Activision top dog Robbie Kotick on the spot.
100 Thieves will not be a part of competitive Call of Duty next year.
Not competitively, not part of the franchise league, as announced by Nadeshot just a couple of hours ago with a video on Twitter, also linked down below for all of you guys.
Many of his sports friends did sign the dotted line, but many esports incumbents were thrust into a difficult position. Nadeshot's organisation had to hold off, so Kenny joined OpTic Gaming Los Angeles, OGLA. But this OpTic was considered fake OpTic by the fans. Hex and Scump were heading to Chicago with NRG, Chicago Huntsman they became, but the branding of OpTic lived on through the Immortals owns OGLA.
It deems your roster on paper as by far one of the best.
Teaming with them so far, I mean, their talent is just unmatched, to be honest. I feel like me and TJ as subs, it's like a duo I've always wanted. Dashy, I mean, the guy shoots pretty straight.
Speaking of branding, Kenny rebranded his own gamer tag this year to Quavo. He had gone before by Quavo Kenny, and that seemed too much for the league it seems, so he preferred a rebrand which was not especially well received by the community, shall we say. He did, however, start going by Kenny again, so not to worry too much about that. Unfortunately for Kenny, the team's internal dynamics were just as messy as the external ones. Slasher and Dashy both expected to be running the main AR, so Dashy ended up on the SMG for some time, a position that didn't suit him and only exacerbated the instability in the lineup.
I keep seeing that Brandon was hold and put on this main sub. He was not hold. Bam, what do you want to run? He wants to run main. He wants to run AR. Okay, let's put Brandon on main AR. We put Brandon on main AR. Brandon literally went into practice the next few days. He barely called out. So me and Eric were like, yo, if you're gonna run main AR, this is how main AR works. We were still ass. We were still ass. Like, keep in mind, it wasn't like, oh, Brandon was just ultra fine on AR. We were still ass.
Then the pandemic struck, forcing the league to resume online and ushering in the darkest periods of Kenny's career. JCap was dropped, Chino came in, head coach Pac-Man was fired, Chino was then benched, as was Dashy, Hollow and Draza joined, and that was about that. Lots of roster changes, maybe a slight preview of the year to come. But Kenny will be the first to tell you he is not the biggest fan of online play, preferring the lights, the crowds, and the level playing field of a LAN, local area network environment.
I see it as a little bit of a debate that online COD isn't as crazy of a difference as people say it is.
It is. It's impossible to replicate the energy. Pool play, oh my god.
Yeah.
A lot of players and a lot of teams play differently online, way different, and people might think that's not right, not true, but I promise you, people have like way more confidence when they're sitting in their home.
To make matters worse, OGLA were playing out of LA, not known for the best internet when compared to many teams based out of Texas. OGLA actually made their way to Texas to play the World Championship, albeit it was all still online. One of the most controversial moments of the entire season came when Kenny was DDoSed, hit offline, in the first round of the online championship.
Did we hear what was going on with Kenny? It must just be like something going on with his internet, I guess his ISP?
Some losers hitting him offline, so.
Okay, well.
Dashy subbed in, played extremely well, and dropped one of the hardest tweets in the history of Call of Duty, with this sparking even more discussions about the team's struggles. Kenny's team eventually bowed out to the real OpTic, with former teammate Envoy beating TJ in a memorable 1v1 to lock in Kenny's first ever World Championship without a finals appearance.
Yo, Matt.
You good?
Yeah. I'm good.
The Cold War season saw Kenny rejoin LA Thieves, with Nadeshot's 100T acquiring the spot sold by Immortals. Could the return to an organisation to which Kenny brought so much success be the catalyst for his turnaround? Yes, but not quite yet. The CDL was still well and truly online, making practice demotivating and a chore for many players, grinding endlessly to compete largely from their bedrooms. Kenny couldn't wait to get back to LAN, but lots would change before LAT would return to the stage. JCap seemingly took notes from last year's OGLA team, and now coaching this new roster went on a generational run of player swaps. Slasher, Kenny and TJ remained from OGLA, with Temp rounding out the lineup. The decisions to bring in Venom and Draza in due course did make some sense, but just as the team started to show promise, TJ was dropped for Hook after Dallas Empire's shock decision to part ways. Notably, Kenny survived all of the turmoil and has still never been dropped or benched in his entire career to date. He ran every role under the sun that year to relative success, main AR, flex, main SMG, and still managed to beat OpTic twice during the course of the year.
Kenny's POV we go. What a monster he has been. 1, him a second. There's a third. His teammates look to pick that up. Just a couple more ticks, and that'll be it. Thieves, a 3-1 victory.
It's OpTic now lining up. Oh, but they run into Slasher. They run straight into him, 3v2. Formal makes his way forward. He gets himself one. The attack's still raging, though, and again, you can't get any more. And it's a 1v2 now for Scum. Now it's a 1v1. It's Kenny versus Scum. Back and forth we go. 15 seconds. Kenny holds the line, gets the kill. The reverse sweep completed. You've got to be feeling good, man. What did you say in the break? It's like you're feeling unkillable right now.
Like I was unkillable. I could chow any gunfight I wanted to take, and I was winning it with full confidence. So everything felt good today. Team felt good. Individual performance obviously was good.
How close is this squad right now to being able to compete for the title?
We're pretty close to at least putting up a fight at champs and maybe taking it home. So.
Kenny's long-awaited return to land finally arrived in June, but Thieves was still a complete disaster by then, which all their talent could not arrest. Another season without a championship.
And with that, it's all on to John. All by himself, what can he do? He doesn't see where Major is. He was toward the bottom side of the car. Has to go for the defuse. Major, can he take him down? And he will! Minnesota, stay alive!
But that year taught Kenny valuable lessons about leadership and the dichotomy between what had created winning teams for him in the past and what does not create a winning environment that season. His years alongside Accuracy and then Slasher paved the way for a new, more refined Kenny to emerge.
Bro, I got you something, man. A surge protector?
Kenny entered Vanguard as the only remaining member of LA Thieves' previous roster. Octane was finally rescued from the depths of the Seattle surge, and Envoy rejoined Kenny after the shocking Texas merger, which saw OpTic Chicago and Dallas Empire combined into OpTic Texas. Draza had done enough to prove that he too merited a starting roster spot, but initially the team struggled, particularly in Search and Destroy. Historically considered one of Kenny's weaknesses as a player, his Search and Destroy play, especially online.
But yeah, when I saw this as 5-0, I was like, okay, yeah, well, wow, that's kind of crazy. Like, usually they're a good hardpoint team, bad Search and Destroy team. Round by round, New York start to bring this one back. And Los Angeles Thieves, the complete collapse comes through. This is just something you absolutely cannot allow to happen. And as soon as I saw this, I was like, okay, wow, this squad is exactly the same as the previous squads.
But another long-held understanding about Kenny, he only improves as the season goes on. 2022 was no exception.
I was just watching Draza's POV there, trying to stay alive. Nice two-piece out of Kenny. Oh, baby, it's a 3! And we can see the lead go back because this is a barn burner right now of a bocage, and I'm loving what we're seeing out of both teams. Octane took care of 2 players in mid with a couple of weapons there, so brilliant stuff out of him as well. Kenny still rocking and rolling. That's now 6.
Into a setup, and now, in the Thieves break, Kenny gonna find the opener.
And this hard point is just so tough. But they can't elude the nades, the shots coming in from Envoy and Kenny as they're keeping them out of the point. Now starting to rack up their own time. These plays from Kenny around the objective, just a thing of absolute beauty. That's 5 in a row now for Kenny.
Look at this streak on the right side. That is 12, 13 in a row for LAD.
The organization brought in assistant coach Shane, and everything began to click. The team then decided to switch Kenny back to his roots, returning to the SMG role that had made his career in the early days. In many respects, Vanguard wasn't dissimilar to Kenny's come-up in World War II. Maps designed for ARs to thrive, no flashy movement mechanics to close the gap. Only the most talented and intelligent players could have consistent impact on the SMG. Kenny made the switch.
And Kenny's left alone! Kenny! Thieves, they're 10 points away. Both teams can win it. Inside found a flank behind. He's been taken down as well. The Thieves are running it up. All 4 members of OpTic go down. Map 1, LA Thieves.
LA Thieves became the dominant force of the CDL to close out the year, winning Major 4 and looking rather untouchable in the process.
Last man in is going to be Octane. The kills are there, and no one. Oh my God! One more hit. Crim tries to hold it, Envoy through the front now, going for the contest immediately. Guns up, Kismet's there, drives it through the side door, Octane through the kills. Oh my God, it's in!
Hey Kenny.
What's up?
I want to let you know something as well.
Yep.
You are our Major 4 MVP. Give it up for Kenny.
I mean, I think everybody saw, I wasn't playing the best with a sub, but I feel like the past few weeks I've been getting really comfy on it. All of us played fucking amazing.
Yeah.
GG's to New York.
This time, Kenny's team arrived to the World Championship as favourites, and after a Game 5 Round 11 bang out against Boston in the first round, they delivered a masterclass.
That's got reach, bro. That's got reach. He was church. He was church. I have it. He can be behind the church. Get B. On B. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. I'm going church. Let's go. Let's go, kid. Start out hot, too. Let's go. You guys are gods.
And you're setting up the pitch. You already know what it's going to be. LA Thieves are going to read it. You got to win the gunfight.
Back out in the corner. Back out in the corner. I'm help.
Yeah, you ran it back. Ran it back. So. B5 dead.
Nice.
I'm telling you. I'm dipping.
Got him back. He's on the truck. Run at this guy. He's on the truck still. Truck dead.
Last one's B5.
Finally, after 2 heartbreaking second-place finishes, Kenny had his World Championship ring, delivering the first of a nade shot to reward his faith in Kenny's talent.
Give it up for Kenny, everybody! This is going to a vet that's been leading from the front. This postseason MVP is going to Kenny. Back-to-back fucking MVPs? I do this shit, I'm him!
Undoubtedly the pinnacle of Kenny's career so far, he intended to make this the first of many to come.
So what's the point? Same crew, but this time, we take everything.
Running the team back in Modern Warfare 2, LA Thieves aims to defend their title, with the CDL remaining largely online with the online qualifier and major format locked in by the league. Recapturing the previous season's magic would not prove easy. Kenny kept up his solid performances with the Vaznev, and despite an underwhelming season, he still made history by breaking the Champs Curse.
Nice. Dead. Yeah, that's 2, bro. Could be on you. Close.
Could be. I'm
on point.
There's one. Fly forward hoop. Trying to be the hero. It's 1. Trees damage. Not enough to get the 3rd player. And that's it. It's done.
Every World Championship winning roster since the inaugural edition in 2013 had failed to win any other event in a different title with the same roster. They came close at Major 2, losing in the finals, and then delivered victory at Major 4 to make history in the grand scheme of competitive Call of Duty.
How you feeling now?
Feeling really good. Obviously love the win, but I don't think we're at final form yet. And I think that's scary for a lot of teams. But overall, love these boys. I mean, won another tournament, like Sam said. F that Champs Curse.
Things were not so rosy though behind the scenes, with main AR Octane arguably the best communicator in the game and still near the prime of his career, deciding to retire from the CDL after that year's World Championship. Unfortunately for the human turret, LAT couldn't replicate their success at Champs, and they bombed out top 8 in their attempted 2-peat.
Here comes the emergency tourniquet here from Kenny. Can he stop the bleeding? No, he can't. Prick gets another. Sim now flying in. Draza fights 1. Damage dealt. Everyone's taking tags. Draza fights 2. 2v1. But from behind, Seattle stay alive. Worried about the flank. Sip has done it. It is all down to LaRue. He is gone.
The spotlight was heavily on Kenny in 2023, with pressure to replicate his performance in their World Championship win. But with more eyeballs came more criticism. Kenny had become an enduring meme that year due to his compulsive weapon YYing, named after the Y button on the Xbox controllers back in the day, to quickly change weapons twice. This is a habit that Kenny has had since the early days, and even when it seems some of his former teams tried to stop him doing so by remapping his weapon change to the D-pad, he would still do it anyway.
In BO4 we remapped his YY to a D-pad and he still did it. It was such an issue in BO4 that we remapped it to his D-pad and he still did it.
So while it may be entertaining and look kinda cool when it works, some criticized it as a potential weakness in his playstyle. On the flip side, Kenny's 2 seasons with Octane had elevated his leadership and communication to new heights. Perfect timing for this next caller.
My best selling point? No, man.
Out of my seat, bro.
No,
this
man.
is my seat. It's all me.
It should have been me. It should have been me.
Yo, Pred. Yo, Pred. Yo, Pred. Wake up, bro. We got a scrim.
Yeah, I'm coming. I just had the weirdest dream.
But let's move on and talk about OpTic. Not only are they picking up Pred, but apparently they're picking up Kenny. So it's going to be Dashy, Kenny, Pred, and Shotzi.
With Scump now retired, the team needed leadership, and Kenny was the man to step up to the plate. The team had been close to securing Draza, but he went for FaZe instead, and Kenny was determined to prove he was the man to lead Shotzi, Dashi, and Pred back to the top.
I love the team that we built, or we have. I'm looking forward to playing with this team. All I want to do is win, so I'm looking to put this team in the best place possible to win.
Kenny to OpTic was an occasional conversation point for years over the last couple of seasons, but the idea of the man who had terrorized OpTic fans for years in big matchups at major tournaments joining the green wall, there were certainly questions. Kenny and Dashi notably had their out-of-game disagreements during their OGLA days, and there were questions on how Kenny would manage the Shotzi-Pred SMG partnership. OpTic had a reputation for wasting the potential of its talent, providing a star-studded lineup but failing to meet expectations at big tournaments. The organisation had not even made a World Championship final for 7 years when the Dynasty claimed glory in 2017.
The curse has been broken. The dynasty has been cemented.
Kenny was determined to change this fact, and it all started from square one, levelling up the effectiveness of their practice, executing in online matches, and transferring that success to LAN. Kenny's relationship with Dashi blossomed, and they developed into one of the most feared AR partnerships in the game. While Kenny and Pred did not always though see eye to eye on playstyle, with Kenny admitting he's not at his best when he's worrying about micromanaging his teammates' plays. Kenny and the coaching staff though figured out the issues as time went on, with Kenny effectively assuming the role of team captain.
I knew he was going to be a good pickup, but I didn't realize until we were in scrims how smart he is. I think he might have the #1 game sense in terms of knowing what to do or knowing what the fuck's going on the map.
Notably, Kenny was back on the second AR as the team continued to develop their consistency.
FaZe with a couple of key eliminations. Here comes Stallion from the front. Kenny! Oh!
With the exception of a blip at Major 4, OpTic's results in 2024 were much more predictable and successful than in previous seasons. The team was on a sensational trajectory heading into Major 3 in Toronto, where they delivered one of the greatest Sunday performances of all time.
Here we go, the last march of Toronto. And on this Sunday, what a Sunday it was! Go Timmy, you're back on top! How does it feel, kid?
Feels amazing. I mean, I came to this team and promised some championships, so I had to fulfill my promise, and here's one, and it's not enough yet.
But Kenny's reputation was thrust back into the spotlight during their Major 4 run, where the team totally collapsed in the qualifiers, even losing to Boston, and crashed out of the Major in top 12. Was Kenny's leadership style failing? All this positive work just to fall apart at the World Championship like other OpTic teams of the past. Kenny and his teammates had a lot to prove, and quite the venue to prove it in. OpTic Texas arrived in Allen, just north of Dallas, for one of the most important tournaments in the history of OpTic. A World Championship on home soil. Surely this was the event they were destined to win. Kenny was brought into this team to give the talent the tools they required to win, coalescing all his skill, knowledge and experience into captaining a roster to glory over all of the competition. To win an event of this magnitude, clutch plays are necessary, and Kenny turns up in the big moments. Taking down his former org LA Thieves in the winners semis, and the reigning champions New York Subliners in the winners finals, destiny awaited.
Let's fucking go, boys, yeah?
Let's go, boys.
This shit is fucking ours, bro.
Let's go, boys. Start it hot.
Let's go.
Watch out, fire. After fire. Watch out, fire. Alright, fire and found.
Top down, see the top down.
Stay alive, Ken. Back door.
Go short.
Nice. Copy. Copy that. Nice. Long.
Holy fuck. He's look who's
I'm hyping him.
Oh my god! We're on the left, Caesar.
I couldn't play. Eskis. Nice! Shit on him, man.
Mid, kids with it.
Nice, guys.
I got graffiti. One's back door. Graffiti.
Dante Eskis.
Nice, back door me too. Back door. Shit on. That's how we back in! Let's go!
Back in the cap.
Oh, in cafe. He's going back door cafe. Back door cafe.
Oh my god, let's go, baby! Let's go, baby!
Go to your right side. Like, DP pills.
DP pills?
Marvin beat him. Where's him?
Let's go! You are fucking dog shit! It's fuck up. I think he's shooting from windows.
Beat him. One shot, beat him. In DVDs, one shot.
I'll just run Caesar and everyone we want. Okay.
I said I did.
Nice, kid. I'm double the
time.
Three, kid.
I'm
We have 60 seconds, kid. It's double punch.
That's fine, I'm here. We beat him. Front man, Aiden.
Back left, Dante.
Hey, let's go. Nice.
Oh, let's go.
Okay, we have all.
We have our, yeah?
Yeah. We got him. Okay, let's go, bro. We can do this shit. I promise.
Yeah, we can. I'm running into mannequin. I'm mannequin.
Shoot on.
Nice. I'm back ass. Let's walk in.
Front launching.
Back ass.
Nice. Back ass. Get on this shit.
OpTic back to the top in Kenny's first season with the organisation. Legacy cemented for Dashi, finally getting his first ring. Preds played a huge factor in the energy of the lineup, with Shotzi their player of the season. But Kenny had achieved what he set out to do, establish OpTic's greatest roster since the Dynasty. Surely this roster of 4 was set to continue their tear into Black Ops 6.
Then we head into the next series of the day. We had OpTic Texas. I think we all had OpTic here winning this
series, bro. What in the actual f is going on?
And it doesn't feel like their leader has any confidence at all in his play.
I don't know, bro. I don't know what the f is going wrong. You're gonna have to figure it out.
One weekend into the season, Pred was shockingly removed from OpTic. The World Championship team imploded almost immediately as their title defense began, just months after their top triumph.
Now in the 1v1 against Dashi for the map. King of Clutch. Catches an 8!
The circumstances around this situation remained shrouded in mystery, but officially, Pred was out with personal issues to such an extent that the organisation cut all ties. For now. Whatever the truth is, the Pred situation was affecting the team behind the scenes and limiting the quality of their practice. So OpTic, they re-signed Hook, a former Kenny teammate, but it didn't end so well on the Los Angeles Thieves before. Hook though had been frying in challenges before coming back to the CDL, and his form continued in the online qualifiers.
Can you talk to me a little bit about the vibe with Hook? What's it like in the room?
I mean, I think Kaliber was like the perfect player for us because he just fits right into our system and how we want to play the game because like our pacing is just so fast. Kaliber, like I said, has been the best fit that we possibly could to use.
Shotzi and Hook were frying, maintaining some of the highest KDs in the entire league, but Kenny, he was struggling badly. With the exception of his 1 vs 2 clutch against LA Thieves in the qualifiers, Kenny's underperformance was frequently the target of criticism, despite securing the #1 seed for the first major in Madrid. The litmus test was whether OpTic could deliver on LAN, and the answer was emphatic. Defeat to the Miami Heretics before bombing out at the hands of the Royal Ravens. Top 8 was unacceptable.
Been battling here on P3, a mixy moment for this scrap, and it looks like Carolina coming out on top of this one as well. They got decent time out of it, but they still got broken down. You can't afford to have that happen. You need every bit of this time, but they choke, they lose it, and now Shotzi dealing with the nades, dealing with the pressure, overwhelmed, and the break is in again. OpTic are in Spain without the S. Slasher on the ready, Vivid to the back line. Vivid, the one-eyed Raven, guns of defense, winning every single fight, every trade, but finally OpTic get him out, or do they? The final 5 moments for them now. What a turnaround, what a tournament.
A 16 death streak in a crucial map loss for Kenny became a hot topic, with even good friends Nadeshot and Octane questioning his performances.
Ken's going to have moments where he doesn't look like the best player in the lobby, but then he's going to have an event or two throughout the year where he looks like he's the best player in the game.
Yeah, but all I needed Ken to do was shoot straight.
Ken this year has been underperforming. I know, but I think Ken is a streaky player, bro.
For the first time in his career, some OpTic fans were calling for Kenny's removal. And just a few days after the major, the bombshell was dropped. Pred was back from his Australia vacation, and Hook was removed yet again. Questions became rampant on why this decision was made. Formal suggested Shotzi made the call, but then Kenny turned on his Twitch stream.
So in this moment, I said, one shot top middle. I see my teammates here, right? So I can tell they're here because of how the comps are happening. So when I'm calling this guy one shot top middle, I only hold the right angle. Why? Because I'm thinking if he chows my left, there's no way in hell my teammates don't shoot them in the side. So you can tell how my comm is I got kind of high pitched because I'm like, what the fuck, hello?
Kenny and Hook did seem to have their disagreements on strategy during the major, and Hook's generally unstructured play style does seem to contradict Kenny's ideal approach to team play in Call of Duty.
I'm going right. Yo, low-key, make sure we go new. I'm hitting this shit, low-key. Alright, go ahead.
This conflict was always going to manifest, and this time it took the form of Hook out, Kenny remains. But Hook had the highest KD on OpTic at the major, and arguably performed the best, so this has left major questions on whether OpTic have actually made the right decision. Will Kenny improve his level and prove that he's not yet past his best, or should Kenny have been the one to have been removed? A two-time world champion, a perennial contender, a leader to one of the most storied teams in Call of Duty history. But is Kenny's reputation beginning to crumble? Only time will tell if he can silence the doubters yet again.